Welcome in, everybody, to the 15th edition of Consistently Inconsistent Sports. I'm your host, Colin Morris. Joining me, as always, the looniest of tunes, my partners in crime, Lane Markwood and Michael the K. Kenslow. What's up?
Holla, holla back.
Holla, holla. On the EI.
Holla, holla. That's our new call, by the way.
Hootie hoo, hootie hoo.
Shout out to Outcast.
Shout out Outcast. Hey, ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, guys, let's get right into it. And what had happened was this week, the Rockets won their 16th straight game. Unbelievable. Can these guys be beat? They terrify me. Bryson Allen Williams, senior linebacker for the South Carolina Gamecocks, returning to the field after a long stretch with the injury bug after going out last season. Serena Williams stepping back onto the court as well. A little more good news in the injury world. And Jerry Jones has to pay the NFL $2 billion for all of those legal fees that he just wasted everybody's time with the Z case when there was no need. He got suspended, whatever.
You think he actually cares about $2 million, though?
Not at all.
He wipes his butt with $2 million every time he uses it.
What is $2 million out of his total net worth?
Absolutely nothing.
0.8%? That's probably way too high.
Well, you know who I hope that $2 million goes to? And ready for this segue? Ed Hockley. Ed Hockley, one of the bandstand refs in the NFL, retiring this week.
Rip to the guns.
Rip to the gun.
Hercules.
If you're 55 and above, let Ed Hockley be your goal. That dude is running with the boys out there. He is a man. That's a man. He's gonna live till he's 110 at least.
How about this though? The same day as the GOAT, Ed Hockley retires, the WOAT, Jeff Triplett, retires.
Oof.
Yeah.
How about Hall of Fame, Wall of Shame, same day?
Right.
Yep. They come in threes, so we'll see who the third is.
They actually promoted Hockley's son to ref.
Oh.
He was a back judge or something, but they promoted him right after his dad retired.
Actually, what's the technical term for the head referee?
I think isn't it just ref?
Got me on that one, bud.
Because you got refs? You got refs. No, it's not umpire, I don't think. You got the head ref, the line judge, the back judge. And then I don't even know. That's something I gotta look up.
Maybe he is just usually referee.
I just associate all the refs as refs normally, but
well, let's see. Anything else really in this section hopping off on y'all? Because it's cool, Rockets, but we'll get to the NBA.
Do we believe Roger Goodell's unofficial 40 time?
Yeah, I watched it.
Did you take a timer to it though?
Yeah, it was 5. It was 5-7.
Okay.
Dude, 5-7.
Run Rich Run was he was
under 6.
Under 6. Under 6 again, man. Run Rich Run.
I feel like they're missing the opportunity for his tuxedo cleats, and then he can sell them to all the broadcasters that have to go on the field during the broadcast. Like Ray Lewis, who stands there on the sideline, or whoever, the NBC crew, or the ESPN or the Monday Night Football crew. Those guys that are right there, get him in tuxedo cleats, selling it to him. Then he gets big, and then you sell them to coaches.
I'm glad he finally wore cleats. Because I'm pretty sure the first time he did this,
he's been wearing cleats. The first time he did not wear cleats.
He was in dress shoes, right?
Yeah,
the first time he was in dress shoes. The last couple of years he's been in cleats though. Okay. He always does a big thing where Dion brings out the cleats he's gonna wear.
And they're new, whatever, yada yada.
They're only worn that one time. Yeah. Because it's Dion, they're only worn that one time and then they're thrown out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's that one sweaty that's out there that's Can I get Rich Eisen shoes? How much do I need to pay? I'll pay anything.
Is that Eric Mangini?
Yeah. Dude, it could be Rex Ryan, man. You never know.
Yeah,
Rob, that's a total Rob move.
Yeah, it's a Rob move. Hey guys, I imagine he talks like what's that guy's crazy dude's name from Point Break? That's his partner in Point Break. That's in.
I've never seen that show.
It's a movie.
I've never seen that movie.
Gary Busey.
Oh God!
I imagine he talks like Gary Busey, and he just sticks his hair back. And Rob, imagine being a defensive, maybe like a 22-year-old guy coming out of college, and then I gotta listen to Rob Ryan talk about football like he's been talking about it since 1970. Oh God!
Dude, I bet you Rob like always has like a tray of wings with him too. He's like the guy that coaches with his mouth full.
Yeah,
he's got like,
and you see here, if you, oh sorry, and if you look over here on the.
Like he hands you like the play sheet or like, and it's just like covered in like barbecue sauce.
Like barbecue got smudged on the corners. You can tell because he's been flipping through the pages.
He's got one hand with like a bag full of quarter pounders, and the other one with like a tray of Buffalo Wild Wings. He's just holding the clipboard in his mouth.
And then right in the middle of his crotch is a big black bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. There's just red powder everywhere, all over. All right. And we're done. All right. Moving on to basketball.
He
would definitely eat the W. But moving on to basketball. We'll talk about the NBA for a little bit. So during the All-Star weekend, there was this little funny conversation that happened where Adam Silver was like, hey, you never know. We might change the playoff format. We're open to suggestions. The NBA has to be – I think the NBA is in an opportunity where they can take over as America's most popular sport from the NFL in terms of, like, the younger generation. Like, you're not going to take it away from the 37 to 60-year-old demographic. But the NBA has the opportunity to take it for the younger generation, at least millennials and everyone coming up now. But a way to do that is to make the playoffs more exciting because right now they're just too long. The NBA playoffs is a lot to ask of people to sit there and feel like each one of these games really matters. And one of the ways they proposed to do that was to make the first round knockout. No, not the game knockout where you line up on the free throw line. I'm talking about like one game, you're in, you're out, boom.
Suicide match.
Suicide. And then you could give like 2 or 3 or you could give like 4 teams buys. I'd even say that.
I mean, they're basically changing it to the MLB play-in game.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Just with more people playing the play-in game. So I would have, if you would have 16 teams, so that would be
what, 8 teams playing the play-in?
Yeah, 4 getting by, so there'd be 12 teams playing in the play-in.
Yeah.
So 6 teams. Yeah, 6 teams playing in. No. Yeah. But then that doesn't work.
Okay, how about this? Let's see if I can do the math here.
Well, yeah.
What if we expand the playoffs?
No.
Hold on. Give me a second here. We make it kind of like March Madness. We have a play-in game. So we expand it to 18 teams. We incorporate West versus East. So the 9 seed we keep East and West. So the 9 seed in the East plays the 9 seed of the West. They play in to make it into the playoffs. And then the top overall, I'm just like shitballing over here. The top overall seed record gets a bye. So that play-in game plays in the next highest seed. I have no idea where I'm going here. But
I think what you should try to do is if you want to do that, then have the play-in game, but then that team still has to play another knockout game. I want this knockout scenario where we just take out 8 teams like that, and then we're down to 8. I feel like that just bang.
on any given night, any team can win
That's
in the NBA.
The whole point.
So you want your Warriors losing to Memphis in the first round, and then that's it?
Sure.
Then the finals suck.
I've seen Duke lose to Loyola in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Okay, worse things have happened in this world.
There's also 64 teams in that tournament.
True.
Like, there's a lot of good teams in that tournament. In this case, if Golden State has an off night, maybe KD gets hurt in the first 2 minutes. They lose that initial game, they're out.
I don't think they would lose the game.
LeBron
It's not like this team didn't win the championship.
LeBron tweaks his knee. They're out. Now all of a sudden you have Toronto versus
– like it was a bad thing.
You have Toronto versus San Antonio.
No, okay, then you don't necessarily just have Toronto versus them. What I'm saying is you take the 16 and then you re-rank them 1 to 16 based on record. So then we get rid of East or West once we get into the playoffs. Then it's really just the best team comes out.
Call me a traditionalist.
But I think the traditionalist is going to let this thing die.
I don't think so, dude. Yes, we're in like a 4 or 5 year era where the West has been a more overpowering, dominant force. But I think it's just kind of the balance of powers. Give it 2-3 years, and the East is going to be.
I'm just saying, for the sake of my favorite sport, to watch right now, the NBA is becoming my favorite sport to watch. A lot of people don't like that. My dad doesn't like it. My dad cannot stand to watch the NBA. He doesn't understand how I do it. But I would sit there and watch an NBA game at night if I could. But hold on. What I'm saying, if people have to watch another Warriors-Cavs final, you will see NBA viewership go down. That's for sure. Because
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
I think you lose the older player base, the older viewer base.
Patriots have been to 8 straight conference finals, and nobody's stopped watching the NFL.
A lot of people have stopped watching the NFL, actually.
Really? Because viewership hasn't really changed.
Yes, it has. Go back and look at the numbers from this year. Let me pull them up.
Not a drastic amount. Not enough to even have a bead of sweat running down your forehead.
I wouldn't say the viewers dropped because of who's in the Patriots winning though.
TV ratings were down 10% from the last season.
I would still put that on other things like people's overall thing of the NFL, not just
Super Bowl
the Patriots getting to the conference game.
I highly doubt that Super Bowl lost after last year's Super Bowl, and I highly doubt that the Super Bowl lost anything.
Super Bowl slips to 7-year low as Eagles score historic victory. 7-year low.
Well, you know what I want to say to that? I don't fucking care because
smallest audience in 9 years, only 103.4 million viewers.
I don't care about lame fans who don't care about sports because that was a great Super Bowl and this was a great historic.
I know, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just telling you that the viewers did go down. The NFL saw a massive cut. So that's why I was saying earlier, the NBA has a chance to pick those people up. And if they want to do that, name me the most exciting sporting event every year.
But the NBA and the NFL.
Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. What is the most exciting?
The Super Bowl.
That's not true. It's the NCAA basketball tournament.
Not in terms of viewership.
Yes, it is. Are you joking? Do you look at TV numbers?
In terms of a single game.
That's not the point. The point is overall revenue. The most exciting thing is the NCAA basketball tournament. It draws people in for a month. It keeps people wrapped in. It gets people at work. People care about the Super Bowl on Tuesday, and then they're done talking about it unless they have one guy in their office who's roots for the team that won, and then he never lets everybody forget about it. The NCAA basketball tournament involves everybody with brackets, with getting everybody involved, putting up money for work pools. The NBA has a chance to draw from that and make it and incorporate some of that flavor, some of that excitement into what they do. Because, I mean, you got to say, baseball is more exciting. Those wild card games are more exciting than Game 3 of the World Series.
Here's my thing, though. Right now, if we change the NBA playoff format to the top 16 seeds versus top 8 East, top 8 West, there would be barely any difference. Both conferences almost mirror each other.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you still take the top 8 teams and then you just totally go by record. So you would have East teams playing West teams, in the playoffs.
Then just eliminate conferences.
Yeah, I mean that kind of defeats the point of divisions and conferences.
That's stupid.
That's fine. Then that's fine. You just do that to make scheduling easier, anyways.
Just build it off
formulate. Yeah, that's
build
fine.
it off of rivalries. The Cavs and Warriors play 4 times a year. The Celtics and Lakers play 4 times a year.
You're making it better. Yes. See, I like these. You're making it like that sounds better to me than seeing the Warriors play Sacramento 6 times.
But what is the NBA playoffs competing with? The Stanley Cup playoffs?
Yep.
And the start of Major League Baseball? Like they're not competing with anything. I don't see any one way or another really changing viewership for the playoffs. Either people are going to watch it or they aren't.
I'm just saying, if people have to sit around and see the same 4-1 series from a West team beating an East team over and over and over again until the Sixers in 3 years are just beating everybody, because we're close. We're very close to the Sixers just coming out every night and choosing which of them is going to go off.
Well, explain to me how a Golden State versus Miami matchup is going to have any more draw than a Cavaliers versus Miami matchup.
Because what you said earlier, what's the fun in having the Warriors go out in the first round? There's your draw. Having Miami have a chance to knock out the Golden State Warriors, you're watching that game because it might be the last time you see the Warriors that year. I'm sorry, but that's a draw. And if you tell me you wouldn't watch it, I'll call you a liar.
It's a draw for people who aren't really fans. And as a true fan, I think it's a horrible.
But then you go into the next one, and then you have your 3-game or a 5-game series or a 7-game series, whichever one you wanted to do.
I don't care about it anymore if the top team is already gone.
Well,
then I'm just pissed. Then I'm like, why is Golden State not in the
better? I just feel like there has to be a way to make it more interesting than it is, because I feel like it's way too long right now.
I don't get. I think the Stanley Cup playoffs are way too long. They're like another 4 weeks longer than the NBA.
I thought they shortened it.
I mean, but didn't you just say, Colin, that the highest revenue / watch is the NCAA tournament, and that's a month long? Right,
but my draw from that was the knockout part of it, not the lengthy part of it. It was saying that the draw of it is that if you pick wrong, your whole bracket's done. You know, like you picked one game, and that one game is over, and that team's out.
Well, this is also more than likely the last year of the NCAA tournament as we know it.
Right. They're gonna switch the play-in thing, and then I hope that I don't know if they're gonna open it up or what. I would like to see them close it. Make it harder. Because I'm sick of seeing like the teams that are like 18 and 16 this year. Like Oklahoma's gone on this terrible streak, and there's still a chance that they get in. That just doesn't seem right.
Well, they pretty much have to win the Big 12 to conference tourney to make it in.
Yeah, it just seemed like every Oklahoma game I watch, and I seem like they're always the 12 o'clock game on a Saturday on ESPN. They're just eh. But they talk about it like they have the chance to win the whole thing every time.
Because they're still on the Trae Young band, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one star, they're always going to talk about it.
The finals weren't necessarily great last year, but I thought the NBA playoffs last year was a very exciting product. There were a lot of – the Spurs-Rockets series was great. The Celtics-Wizards series was great. The Bulls-Celtics series was great.
The Bulls-Celtics series might have been the best series of the whole thing.
No, that was clearly Wizards-Celtics. It went to Game 7 like on a buzzer beater.
Yeah. I don't know. Just things to throw around. None of this is going to happen. We don't make decisions. We're just a couple kids in our apartments.
We can't even call ourselves kids anymore. We're too damn old now.
Right?
All right. Well, we're just a couple of young adults sitting in there with their earbuds on talking about the sports balls.
Dude, Colin's a true millennial trying to change all this.
I just want to see it be different. I feel like there's chances for things to be different if we keep stuff. Nothing stays the same all the time. Like, wait for it. We're gonna add teams into the NFL and the NBA in the next couple of years. Like,
well,
is going to change.
Let's do subtle changes then. Maybe let's just take the top 6 teams instead of the top 8. Not completely eliminate.
And then give me the top 6 teams, and then have the top 2 teams get a bye.
But then Denver doesn't get it because they're the
top
6. I don't like
top,
that.
like top 6 from each conference, and we keep it the same type of thing. Still 7-game series. There's just one less.
Leighton, you have to. Your numbers don't add up. Then you still have teams that aren't playing each other. You have an uneven amount of teams to do a bracket on each side. You can't have 6 teams on each side of a bracket. You have to have at least 8 teams on each side of the bracket.
Top two get a bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it like the NFL playoffs, and have them play football instead.
No, see, I like that episode of South Park where they just keep changing football until they're out there just like passing a balloon in the air, and they can't touch each other, and it's just walking around giving each other compliments.
Dude, Austin Collie would still get a concussion.
It's true. That's true. He would find a way. Just from thinking about it, probably, actually.
Austin Collie. Man.
Well, then, okay, so then let's walk into the NCAA tournament because I got 8 teams here that I think can win. Realistically, built to go the whole 9. I got Duke, Michigan State, Gonzaga, North Carolina, Purdue, Virginia, Xavier, and Arizona. I have a strong feeling that Arizona is going to win this whole thing. They are turning into the Patriots of NCAA basketball, and they are on the FU NCAA hype train. And they're coming. Sean Alon, what do you think? Am I crazy?
To think Arizona's going to win it all? Yeah.
How is that crazy?
Dude, you tell me the 15th team in the nation right now is going to come up and win the tournament?
Yes.
It's not going to happen, man. Not going to happen.
Okay.
I really think there's only 2. I know your next question is who are the 2 locks or whatever to make it to the Elite 8, right?
Yeah, because I feel like we're too early to call the Final Four if we don't know everybody's routes, because sometimes routes change your predictions for teams.
I see.
My top 2 are Virginia and Xavier.
I see Gonzaga and Michigan making it to the Elite 8.
Michigan, not Michigan State?
Not Michigan State. Michigan.
Dude, Michigan won the Big Ten again.
Michigan is on an absolute tear. Gonzaga is probably – I could see them winning the whole thing. Virginia is – I love Virginia. What if they – you're going to put Virginia's offense up against Villanova?
Go back on your last 15 seconds. You got a little crackly row body there.
Well, what's the last thing you heard?
I don't remember. Just go back. Just repeat your whole last thought.
Gonzaga could win the national championship, and Virginia could lose in the first round.
I think Virginia's defense is too good to lose in the first round.
I mean, Michigan did this last year. Like, Michigan went on a tear and won as the 8th seed in the Big Ten tournament. And how far did they get last year? Like the Sweet 16?
They've also won 28 games this year.
I know. Like, they're not a bad team. Like, they beat Michigan State. And that's – I haven't been a big fan of the Big Ten once they get to the NCAA tournament lately. I feel like the Big Ten really takes a lot out of teams. You may say that might prepare you more, but I think like a lot of these teams come in and then just get quick slapped in the face and they're out.
Like, I thought last year was a crapshoot, but this year I might like tie a blindfold and throw darts into a wall to pick my tournament team.
I might play dizzy bat.
Yeah.
And then just go and point. Each time I try to think. I mean,
but yeah, I'm pretty confident that Duke is losing in the round of 32.
Okay. All right.
Again.
Okay.
To South Carolina.
to College of Charleston. Shout out to College of Charleston last night, winning the CAA and making it to the NCAA basketball tournament.
The Cougs.
Way to go, Cougs.
South Carolina update. They're up by 1 with 12 minutes left to go in the first half.
Yep.
Well, all right. So I guess my two teams are probably going to have to be Arizona and Purdue.
Going with the boiler up, hammered down.
You just said how you don't trust the Big Ten.
But Purdue is the team that I've seen actually watch some of this year that can make it to the Elite Eight.
Hammered down, baby.
You're right. I don't trust Duke to get past the round. I don't trust them to get past the Sweet 16 with a cherry right in front of them playing like St. John's, and they lose to St. John's again.
St. John's, might actually make the tournament after that horrible start.
Try to get a bug. All right, on to the combine. NFL time. Two people really stood out in this combine. Saquon Barkley, somebody said that he is Adrian Peterson, Zeke, and LaShawn McCoy in the same person. That's a lot. That's a lot of praise.
And then the next person followed up by tweeting Adrian Peterson's college highlights and really threw that whole theory like straight into the ground.
And guys, I do have a quote here, and this is from a Twitter account. One senior scout for the an NFL team said, "I'd punch myself in the nuts to draft him."
Yeah, I saw that one.
I'm glad I got double confirmation, so people watching this show were like, "Colin just made that up." Colin did not make that up. Somebody actually said
that one made Reddit as well.
I can't wait until that person is ousted and we learn his name and his team affiliation.
For the Giants, and then he gets to film a video of Saquon Barkley actually giving a nice little.
It was probably that coach for the Dolphins.
It's going to be on sports science. They're going to bring sports science back. How many ball shots can a GM take before they can draft Saquon Barkley?
Michael, who was that? Who was that physics teacher that was the soccer coach? Mr.
Sox Belcher.
Belcher would just walk in and would be like, "All right, guys, we're watching Sports Science and Mythbusters. They say force words in here, and they use real science terms. And then we're gonna build." This guy was awesome. Dude would just walk in and be like, "I'm not doing anything today. We're just watching some Mythbusters."
Dude, he married Miss Crumb, the dance teacher.
Oh, not Miss Crumb. She was hot.
She helped with our marching band. Barkley. I mean, he's definitely going in the top 2 now, right? Like,
I mean, you're stupid if you don't take him. Like,
I think
is there a world where somebody trades up to get him?
Yeah, I can totally see it happening.
I would see
I think Cleveland needs to trade Duke Johnson and get something and take Saquon number 1. Because Saquon and Isaiah Crowell, I think they could be a tag team together. But Saquon and Duke Johnson,
Yeah. I see him going to the Giants, though. Like, he's not making it past 2.
Like, no, I honestly don't think he makes it past 2. Like, unless somebody is so desperate for a quarterback that they trade up, and then, like, who's the offensive tackle out of, Texas or whatever? Not Orlando Brown, a different guy.
Connor Williams.
No, not Connor Williams either.
He's like the top tackle, I'm pretty sure, ranked. Top lineman ranked.
But unless someone's desperate for the quarterback, trades up, and then they take a lineman next, like, there's no way he doesn't go top 2.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'm honestly a fan of the running back coming back in terms of this swing that we've had with like Jay Ajayi, Zeke Elliott, Todd Gurley. If Barkley's part of it, that's awesome. because this league needs this resurgence of running backs. I feel like the league is way better when there's equal amounts of cockiness coming from every position. Because I feel like there was just a little too much wide receiver cockiness going for a few years. Like they were like OBJ came in and kind of stole the whole show. But these guys can come in and be stars and remind people like, yo, we dictate this game. You want to run some clock? You need one of me.
The running back is back.
Yeah. And imagine like a Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is the perfect built back for this NFL. And I feel like people are going to sleep on him. And he's going to get taken in the 3rd round. And I think he's one of those guys that's going to be starting for an NFL team.
Dude, the Patriots are going to take both.
I know.
Backs, man. You know what's going to happen. Like, they are going to have both Georgia backs.
You said it and made it real. Ugh.
Like, we all know it's going to happen.
I knew it was going to happen.
It's so stupid because it's such a perfect pick for them.
Exactly.
And, like, they have every resource in their power to get it and make it happen, too. Like, they don't even have to reach for it, man. They can wait all they want and still
they can get him. Here's what they can even do. That's the crazy thing, is they can sit there and get Sony Michel in the 1st and then get Nick Chubb in the 2nd.
Yeah, and like Nick Chubb might even be there in the 3rd, dude. Like,
they're going to win 13 games with Tom Brady only throwing 14 passes a game because they're going to get Michelle, Chubb, Rex Burkhead, and Deion Lewis all involved. And bring back LeGarrette Blount.
Dude, because Philly can't keep Blount, man. That's Philly. That's a cap hit right there, but I think we're talking about that later.
Well, we're talking about running backs right now, so I feel like we should just go ahead and transition into maybe the best running back in the league and what's going on with one LeVeon Bell.
Well, he got tagged, and now he's saying
again,
and he's saying, "I don't want this." Can we do like a drunk history on Le'Veon Bell's tag situation?
Well, should we all do shots right now?
I mean, we could do a shot if you want to do it. I don't think we should do a shot. I don't think we should. I think we're.
I feel like that would tie in better with drunk history, but
it would.
I digress.
It's okay. Yeah. Well, Mike. So, listen. This tag thing. Leighton, you can be Mike Tomlin. Michael, you can be. Do you want to be Antonio Brown or Ben Roethlisberger?
I'll be Antonio Brown.
Somebody needs to be Ben. I'll be Ben.
Okay, you'll be Ben. All right. You guys are coming to confront me, Le'Veon Bell, about why I'm being so difficult. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Antonio, why don't you start?
I'll give it a start. Yo, Le'Veon, I literally just announced on my own Instagram or Twitter, I can't remember which one it was, I restructured and took a pay cut just so we could keep you on the roster on the franchise tag so we would stay under the salary cap. Like, you being selfish to the team, man.
Right.
We need you on the field, man.
I'm going to stop you right there. I don't know if y'all know, but I have been in some serious tax trouble lately. And I needed to drive up my stock and make it seem like I was having some issues and stuff. But I'm good, guys. I'm good. Really. Ben, I want you to know I'm always behind you. And when you need me, I'm always in front of you.
Le'Veon, hey, it's your best pal, buddy, old friend, Ben over here.
Hey, catching balls. Remember, bud? That's us. You know, you throw it, I catch it. Remember? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a solid, 3-down back, I suppose.
There's only 4, so I am there for 3 of them. You know, that's good.
I can toss you the ball here or there, but I can also toss Juju the ball. I can toss Antonio the ball.
Who?
I could even toss Martavis the ball. You know,
who are they?
I could toss that tight end that can't catch the ball. You know, I could toss them all the ball, and I think the biggest thing you need to know here, Le'Veon, is that all the money needs to go my way because I won the Super Bowl and you haven't.
That was like 25 years ago before I was born.
History rules, bud. Rap drool.
I wasn't even in college.
Stop rhyming.
It's like, I'm saying, like, hey, Le'Veon, I heard Mike Mike talking it up a little bit with the GM, and there's a couple good running backs in this draft that we could take in the first or second round.
I also saw that somebody had Josh Allen as like a second round grade, and that the Steelers should take him in the second. And I was like, the video was released yesterday. I was like, what is this?
You're like, who are you?
From Le'Veon,
Le'Veon, buddy. I'll bring you back over here. I got another thing for you. Well, I got a new triple B for you, bud. So you're 26 now. You've been injured. You smoked the dope. Okay, you missed some games of the last couple years.
I did not lay off the weed.
Okay, it's one thing to potentially rape a woman like me and maybe like crash your motorcycle, but you smoke weed, and that is a no-no in this game. Okay,
if the cop says pot, you're going to jail.
You know Roger hates the dope, and you be smoking that dope. Oh, I just rhymed better than you did in your last rap song. Whew. Le'Veon, I'm sorry, bud, but the last running back who complained about salary cap was DeMarco Murray, and he went to the Eagles and did nothing. And then he sucked last year for Tennessee. That's your future, Le'Veon. The Steelers are going to get Saquon Barkley, and we're going to trade your ass.
Well, this was eye-opening, but I think Le'Veon needs to go to some therapy now. Yeah. After being thoroughly throttled by Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben Roethlisberger's girlfriend in the bathroom took less of him.
Wow. Okay. Well, all right. So Sammy Watkins is going to be a free agent. Allen Robinson's going to be a free agent. Richard Sherman might be out of here. Michael Bennett's traded.
Wait, before we move on, can I do real talk on Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah. Go.
I think if the Steelers don't re-sign him to a long-term extension before his tag is actually enacted in July, I believe, I think it will go down as one of the worst moves in NFL history. Le'Veon Bell will either sit out a season or
he'll go to the Seahawks.
He'll force the Steelers to either rescind the tag and let him be a free agent or trade him, and then Pittsburgh will fail to make the playoffs.
You ready for this? Here's the only way the Steelers come out on top. They somehow work a trade to the Seahawks, get Jimmy Graham, and at least a second and third rounder for Le'Veon Bell.
Isn't Jimmy Graham a free agent this year?
Yep. And he's also going to the Baltimore Ravens.
I don't know if I want Jimmy Graham, dude. I mean, he sounds.
But he played basketball.
His market value is really low right now for the talent that he is. I'd love to have Jimmy Graham.
You know what's not low? The height he can rebound a ball from.
True.
That's deep.
Yeah.
You know what's not low? Le'Veon Bell's THC levels.
True.
I was going to say things Josh Allen can throw a football over.
We'll get into that later.
Well, I mean, who came out to you guys at the combine is like, yo, I'm here? Because Griffin shocked us. Like, that was ridiculous.
Dude's a monster.
I mean, I can't think of anybody who came out better.
Colin, if you're talking in that sense, I think Michael Sam was the only linebacker that ever came out at the combine.
Wow.
Got him.
He came out at the draft, not the combine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got my dates confused.
Like how he was dating that guy.
But in terms of like actual athletes that popped out, I mean, none of the quarterbacks were really a surprise, honestly. I feel like all of them performed as well as you could have expected. The only one people had doubts about was really Josh Allen. And, I mean, he was throwing bombs.
He really was. He was throwing it all over that place.
Throwing bombs.
Do you guys think Lamar Jackson limited himself by not running the 40 and doing the cone drill?
I thought not running the 40 was almost more of a, hey, if I run the 40, they're going to compare me to the wide receivers. Because I feel like he was guaranteed.
He's going to do it at his pro day.
I mean, he's definitely going to do it at his pro day, but I feel like he didn't run the 40 here because he would have beaten all the other quarterbacks times. Plus, they would have compared him to the wide receiver times, like on national news.
I feel like the majority of teams are still like have Lamar on their draft board as a quarterback. So I feel like the 40 could
the Ravens do at least. I know that.
Yeah, I feel like the 40 could only enhance his draft position.
Maybe he just wasn't feeling it. Maybe he pulled a hammy or something earlier in the day.
Okay, guys. And in stunning fashion, the Baltimore Ravens somehow managed to just keep it. Somehow, we're keeping our hat in the ring for Jarvis Landry. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we could get him. I don't know, but we could get him. But
we're one of two teams that have been openly linked to Jarvis, and I'm blanking on the second team.
The Bears.
Apparently, the whole Bears thing was a ruse, though. Like, apparently, Miami came out and said that they weren't actually trying to trade for Jordan Howard.
And, like, the Ravens thing is real because there was already reports last season about the Ravens trying to trade for Jarvis last offseason.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think he would fit perfectly, but also he would give us our first, like, real slot dude since Anquan.
No, he would give us our first real, like, actually, like, prime receiver ever.
Ever. Never forget Lee Mason.
Derek Mason, you mean?
Derek Mason and Lee Evans, right? No, Lee.
Well, yeah, Lee Evans was on our team, and he cost us a run at the Super Bowl. But, yeah.
Yes.
But Derek Mason was also, like, 30, 31 when he signed, and Jarvis Landry is 25.
Yeah.
Bit of a difference.
And we'd also have, I mean, he thinks he's better than OBJ. I like a guy who thinks he's better than the best.
I think Juice would fit into our offense a lot better than he does in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd have more freedom in Baltimore. Like, I feel like
Joe, free crab cakes. That's for sure.
Joe would just give him, jump balls, man.
And we actually run like a West Coast offense where Jarvis's little like hitch routes and quick slants and all those option routes.
Yeah, the route patterns in the Ravens offense are very much suited for him. Like I see him making those extra moves to get him open that Camp doesn't get open with.
Whereas Miami's playbook for Jarvis Landry is bubble screen. That's why he gets 7 yards a catch, because they do bubble screens and he catches the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Like the SEC or Clemson.
Yeah,
mainly Clemson. Actually, just Clemson, not the SEC. And well, Kentucky did that. I remember being on those Kentucky sidelines, and I remember, wow, there's a lot of screens.
Dude, yeah. Kentucky beat us by running that same freaking option play with Jojo Kemp for like 3 years.
Oh my god,
dude! Too soon.
Jojo Kemp is the heart and soul of destroying Carolina.
It was the wildcat play where he literally just runs straight up the left in between the left guard and
every single time. They literally ran that play in the entire fourth quarter.
I'm going to his Wikipedia page, and I kind of want to edit it to be the
destroyer of South Carolina football.
Dude, I just remember watching that broadcast of that first game where they were doing that, and like the lineman had to pick JoJo up after every play because he was so tired.
Let's see.
Do we want to move to Seattle?
Yeah, let's talk about the Legion that's doomed. So Seattle sees a lot of changeover this week. Michael Bennett traded for a 5th rounder and Marcus Johnson, some 4th-string wide receiver.
Don't bother looking him up. We looked him up and it didn't change anything.
Yeah, he's trash. So, and something I wanted to talk about was a report that I saw that they got rid of Bennett to make the locker room, quote, quieter.
He is a talker.
He's a talker, but he's a producing talker.
And, like, I would argue that the rest of that locker room isn't not talky. Like, you think they still have Sherman at this point, which that could change, obviously, but, like, he's still technically there right now. Maybe Earl Thomas and them aren't quite as chatty, but, like, I wouldn't say Michael Bennett's the only quiet or loud person in that locker room.
I mean, Bennett speaks his mind, but he's also like super adamant about like social issues. Like I don't see how he would be like porous in the locker room, where you look at a guy like Earl Thomas who openly talks about leaving Seattle to play for his dream team, Dallas Cowboys. Like I see that as being horrible in the locker room.
Yeah, I think we really need to see Russell Westbrook step up.
Wilson?
Yeah, Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean. The true face of the Seattle Supersonics. Because I know he really plays for Seattle. He doesn't play for Oklahoma City.
Right.
I'm curious to see the triple-double in the NFL.
I think he would kill it. Tell me Russell Westbrook wouldn't kill it in the NFL somehow. Like, he would find a way to win. That dude wins at everything.
I mean, what would he be? He would either be a running back or a slot receiver, right?
For
maybe
sure.
a DB.
Yeah.
He would have to be a
DB.
receiver so he can use his ups to get that ball. Like
why couldn't he be a DB?
Player
what about free safety?
Because Russell Westbrook is a offensive guy.
I see him being the first guy to vault over somebody off the ground to catch the ball in pads. So he climbs the tree, pushes off the guy's shoulder, and just perfect catch.
I mean, did you see? I think it was Juju was recruiting LeBron. Like he officially started a recruit LeBron campaign.
Yeah, he tweeted that LeBron would officially be the greatest athlete of all time if he joined the Steelers to play receiver or tight end, whichever it was.
Yeah, I made LeBron in NCAA football 2014 and put him as a tight end on the Baylor football team. He was a 6'8" tight end. It was amazing. He would just go out, muscle everybody. Just was a huge specimen. His arm was just great.
Specimen. I hate that word when describing people.
Like, I do too. I'm sorry.
How horrible is that? Like if you're a real live person, you're like, look at this.
What a freak.
He's a beast. Specimen. He's an animal.
The gym rat.
He's a gym rat, a scrappy gym rat. He's looking for some cheddar.
Looking for it, getting it. Well, I guess for Seattle, Richard Sherman going in basically saying bye to everybody today, and his mom even posting on Facebook like, "It's so sad to know that my son won't play for the Seahawks." That team's done. Like,
I've also seen
draft. Like, do they have just some secret stashes? They're just going to totally flip this whole thing around.
I saw an article because apparently Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas both might not be playing next year as well.
Well, Cam may never play again. He suffered a horrible neck injury.
Yeah, right. So Cam definitely not playing next year. Earl Thomas might not be there.
He might not even be there. He might get traded.
So I mean, like that in essence is the Legion of Boom all gone. I mean, literally everybody. So you know that. Right. What do they do? I mean, their offensive line is horrible as it is.
Are now the defense the worst team in the NFC West?
Oh, easily.
I think they are
easily.
Let's see what Arizona does at the quarterback position because right now they literally have nobody.
Way better than their defense.
If Arizona signs Case Keenum, they'll be fine.
It's fine. If Case Keenum is the floor for that team.
Yeah, like if they get at least Case Keenum, they'll be good.
They could get Case Keenum, Sam Bradford, and somebody in the draft, either or Sam or Case. And get somebody in the draft and still have David Johnson, and you're still good because you can still hand the ball off to David Johnson.
But there's also the possibility that they retain Drew Stanton and draft a project at quarterback.
I think that's fine, though, because I still think that's fine.
No, because Drew's going to get injured after week 5, and then they're screwed.
Then let the project play. I think the only way you let somebody play is if they pick them in the first 3 picks or the first 3 rounds, and I think there's a chance they might do that. The Cardinals might be that team this year. They've been projected for a lot of years to take a quarterback in the first round to replace Carson Palmer, and they've been regretting it every year that they haven't listened to the mock drafts on the internet. Because now you're in the position where Drew Stanton is the only answer that you have in your house. In-house right now, Drew Stanton is your starting quarterback. That is not what you want to say if you're the Arizona Cardinals.
You think Carson Palmer ends up missing football in the offseason and comes back maybe like the second week of the preseason. He's still under contract with the Cardinals.
I feel like he's done, though. I feel like he's out.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really want him to come back. I feel like that's not. I feel like
any news about that.
No, I haven't heard anything. But also, like, he had a solid season last year despite all of the injuries.
I feel like they just need to move on.
Yeah.
I feel like it's time.
I think the injuries thing is what really made him retire. I don't think that he was disappointed with his play. I just think he's at the point where his age is finally catching him, and the injuries were starting to get a little crazy.
But also, he's like a guy who people talk about being on the bubble as being a Hall of Famer. I don't see it.
I don't think he can be a Hall of Famer.
How can he be a Hall of Famer?
He never won a Super Bowl. I mean, he had just mediocre season after mediocre season with the Bengals. Never really accomplished too crazy much with the Cardinals. Like, I just don't see how you can put him in the Hall of Fame.
Really great start to his career, 2-3 year period, tore his ACL, had a really mediocre 5-6 year stretch, then had a nice end to his career at Arizona. But
he had one season where he averaged under 60% of his passes. That's not bad.
It's a different league, though. I mean, the West Coast offense.
He didn't get better as his life went on. His best season.
Joe Flacco completed like 65% of his passes last year. You're going to say he had a good season?
I mean, 2015 was his best year in that he had 46, 71. And he played all 16 games. In years that he's played 16 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times out of a 13-year career. So I guess, yeah, he might not be Hall of Fame worthy.
And I mean, didn't Carson Palmer only
interceptions some years?
Didn't Carson Palmer only ever win like one playoff game?
Maybe.
He won at least one with Arizona.
I'm pretty sure he won one with Arizona. Here, I just looked it up. He's 1-4 in the playoffs. He only went 1-3. He only went 4 times, and he's 1-3.
That's right. Because he took Arizona to the conference championship, but then they lost to Carolina by like 40.
So yeah, his first year was with Cincy in 2005. He went back again in 2009. They lost to the Steelers, then lost to the Jets. And then in 2016 was the last time he went, beat the Packers, and then lost to Carolina.
Yeah, and his first career playoff game is when he tore his ACL, and he was like never the same quarterback.
Yeah, because in that first game he went 1 for 1. He had one pass for 66 yards.
I think it was the second play of the game, like literally.
Yeah, one pass for 66 yards in that game. But I don't think his stats are there for Hall of Famer.
Well, I don't know what's left for them to. I mean, besides the draft, I just don't see them having Drew Stanton being the answer in house. I think you need to look outside.
Oh no, they have so many options though to look.
I'm pretty sure start in like 5
free
days?
Agency starts on Wednesday. Week. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. Not this week, obviously, but next week.
I think they can start talking to agents. Can start talking to teams today.
Yeah, I think they can start talking to agents today, and then the 14th, so next Wednesday, I believe it's the 14th, next Wednesday at like 4 p.m. is when it officially starts. Like when you can sign people.
Drew Stanton is a free agent, so he's currently Arizona has, I believe, zero quarterbacks.
Well, they might have like a practice squad guy, but
yeah.
Let's see who they have.
Also, Stanton's agent is Drew Rosenhaus.
Hold the phone. They have Matt Barkley and Blaine Gabbert. Relax.
Oh God.
Relax.
So a USC quarterback and Blaine Gabbert.
Hey, a Missouri Tiger nonetheless.
Okay, here. I'm going to hit you. I just went to the operations.nfl.com, right? Here is the free agency period. So March 6th, prior to 4 p.m., you have to designate franchise tags. So at March 12th through the 14th, clubs are permitted to contact and enter contract negotiations who will become unrestricted free agents. And then March 14th, they have to exercise like all the options, like get all that crap out of the way. And then at 4 p.m. is when they can actually start signing people, the 14th. So next Wednesday.
Okay. Well,
you can see a lot of cuts this week.
Oh, yeah. I want to jump it back under to the salary cap. I want to jump it back to the NBA just for a quick second because I just noticed that we jumped over something. Colin, you have here written that the report that Kawhi Leonard wants to be a San Antonio Spur for life. I kind of want to hear your guys' thoughts on it, and then I have my own little take on it.
Okay, lay it on me.
Oh, you want me to start?
I mean, I think that Kawhi should be the one in power here because I'm sick of hearing every time we talk about the Spurs that his return keeps getting pushed back. Because a couple weeks ago, he's like, oh, he's 2 weeks from returning. Now they're just like, nah, bro, you're not going to play this season. And then they told him after he already said, I'm coming back. And now he's like backing out of it. And I just don't think it's being handled very well. And when I get the want to play for the prestigious San Antonio Spurs your whole career. But I mean,
yeah, that's why I call BS on this whole thing. I think it's red flags all over. And hot take, I believe that Kawhi Leonard will be traded in the offseason.
Is he staying west or is he going east?
He should go to the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, God.
Bring him back.
The Hawks could.
The Hawks have the best jersey in basketball, but the worst team.
Oh, how about this? Dennis Schroeder and a first-round pick for this year and next year for Kawhi. I would take that if I were the Spurs.
Well, hold on. Okay. Keep talking. I like that.
If you're the Spurs, yeah, I like that. I like that if you're the Spurs.
Atlanta, I don't hate it either. You're getting Kawhi Leonard. And who knows if those two top lottery picks are even going to pan out. Plus, with the addition of Kawhi, you might not be a lottery team in 2019. So that pick might be 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, you might need to throw in like a Dwayne Dedman, maybe like Kent Bazemore to offset the contracts.
Yeah, well, Schroeder is a pretty high contract.
Throw in Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, and 2 first-rounders, and I think you have yourself a Kawhi.
I think the Spurs got to throw somebody else in there to match salary.
Ooh, here's a good one. What about Justice Winslow and 2 first-round draft picks from Miami? He goes to Miami.
I'd rather have Schroeder if I were the Spurs because they don't have that point guard position really locked down.
I like Kyle Anderson at point guard. He runs
Kyle Anderson?
Yeah, he's a forward, but he runs the point.
I don't know. Look how old the Spurs guards are. You have Manu, Danny Green, Tony Parker, and then you have Dejounte Murray. Patty Mills is also 30.
I didn't think Patty Mills was that old.
He's been around for a while.
$29. Okay.
29. He'll be 30 before the 2019 or 2018-19 season starts.
August 11th. Yeah. I mean, I guess you want to go younger. I mean, they got Dejounte Murray, right? That's the kid. So you're banking on him being good if you don't bring anybody else in.
And he's been so
right. He's either like or why did I bring him in today?
Where Dennis Schroeder has proved on a team with like moderately decent talent can be a solid NBA starting point guard if with like a lot of potential. He's still really young.
Chauncey Billups is doing the Cavs Nuggets game at 10:30, Michael.
Dude, the only thing I want out of that game, I don't even care who's doing the game. I just want Joker.
His first game as an analyst.
I want Joker ball. I don't want any more of the Paul Millsap ball because as soon as Paul Millsap came back, we actually turned into dog crap. I want them to go back to what they were doing.
Really interesting team and a really interesting position to
it's really weird because like Jokic was killing it while Millsap was hurt, and then Millsap comes back, and like the last 2 weeks that they've been playing, like the Joker's numbers are just like so low compared. Like he was getting like triple doubles, pretty much like Russell Westbrook, for like a long time of Millsap's absence, and then Millsap comes back, and now he's like averaging like less than 10 a game, maybe 8 rebounds and a couple steals or something. Like it's just nothing compared to what it was.
But what do you guys think about Kawhi? You think he's staying, or are you guys with me? You think he's going?
I don't mind Kawhi saying he wants to stay there. I mean, I think that's fine if like you like where you're at, you like the organization. I think he's limiting his options severely by doing that. Obviously, I
don't think Kawhi is the one that's doing this.
You don't think Kawhi is the one saying that he wants to stay?
No, does he like being there?
There's been Spurs controlling Kawhi, like Leighton. I think you're right into where they might move him, and that what makes me think that like he wants to play, he wants to stay, but they
I don't know. There's been beef all year. Like, there's been a lot of weird reports coming out of San Antonio. Like,
right. I'm saying I don't buy that he necessarily doesn't want to be there. I think some parts of him wants to be there and make it work because he likes playing for Pop. He likes everything about the team. He just doesn't like how they're managed, which that's a different story because that works some ways. That works sometimes like that with teams. And I think that this might be the Spurs the management trying to push him out.
What if this is a big play to get LeBron to come to San Antonio?
I'm over that crap. God. Why does every conversation about the NBA have to go to LeBron? Over it.
Dude, because that's what it's all about.
Sounds like a typical Golden State Warrior fan who just wants the convo about Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Who I haven't mentioned for the entire show. Not even I'm wearing an Overwatch shirt and a Migos hat. In my Charlotte 10s. I mean, I guess Charlotte, Steph Curry. Dang it, I said
it! It's over!
It's over. It's over.
The fix is in. This podcast will now explode in 10, not 8. If you say the magic words.
You set the detonation button, Colin. Why?
Why did you say the words? Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant. Who knows? I mean, the NBA is kind of just in a whole flux right now. We talked about it earlier. Like, I think sports in itself is in a weird place where people are like, you got us who could care less about any of like the political ramifications of any of these people or like, but I'm totally behind anybody that comes and attacks these guys who are, out in the world and being like the lady on Fox News who told LeBron to shut up and dribble. Yeah, she can.
Oh, God.
Shut up. Like that. And then also the guy who came out and was talking about Josh Rosen and then J.J. Watt laid into him.
Oh, dude, the J.J. Watt response was great.
That was great.
He
compared it to the shut up and dribble thing.
I didn't see that one. Run that one by me.
Michael basically, a reporter. I can't remember who it was. Was it Lombardi? I think it was Lombardi.
Might have been Lombardi.
Oh boy!
Basically, one of the NFL analysts said Rosen needs to stick to either being a humanitarian or a quarterback. And then J.J. Watt proceeds to blow up on him, referencing the dribble incident, and just blew up on him. Like, do you not see what I've done as in my spotlight as being J.J. Watt, the super football star and humanitarian? It was just great.
What about Super Bowl champion Chris Long? What about Super Bowl champion Malcolm Jenkins? What the hell is Michael Lombardi talking about?
Yeah, Michael Lombardi is just looking for some headlines.
I'll be honest, guys. White people really piss me off these days.
Oh, it's been.
Just gonna be honest.
If these days started in 2014, then yeah, I'm all with you because it's been a nice 4 year white people have really pissed me off.
Just been the worst. Just shut up.
We need more
I guess
Rich
it's been-
Eisens in the world.
Yeah.
My dog.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Dude, Rich Eisen's the real MVP, man. That dude would get my vote to be NFL commish every day of the week.
I'm even a fan
hell yeah.
of and I think one of the last surviving voices of that like old school, not old school, but like the guys we grew up listening to, like Mike Greenberg, always crushing it. Like I feel like his takes were always solid, and you know, telling it how it was in the mornings when I listened to Greenberg. I felt like he was the one that at least had some facts backing it up.
I feel like he did my boy Mike Golick dirty, though. So, I don't know.
Golick got the show where he can sit in his lazy underwear with Wingo, though. Now he's got Golick and Wingo. It's all part of ESPN's terrible branding, and I could do a whole show on how ESPN has shot themselves in the foot. I have I only watch I don't watch ESPN programming really anymore. Like I used to wake up and try to watch some First Take, and now I just don't care, and I wait for Cowherd to come on at 12. I love to watch me some Cowherd.
Dude, Cowherd is just a nuisance, man.
Yeah. Back when Cowherd was on ESPN, I really enjoyed him, and then ever since he went to Fox News, all of his takes are horrible.
I listen to the best ofs, and a lot of it gives me ideas of what to talk about, but I never take his takes. He's got he'll go down a solid route, and he always does this thing where he lays on a solid metaphor. Like a good cereal has to have flavor, texture, and make the milk taste good afterwards when you need it. And come up with some crazy third next fact, and then somehow draw it into a comparison of LeBron James to Michael Jordan.
Dude,
you're like, what?
But
I feel like Cowherd is the conservative radio talk show guy. He's the Bill O'Reilly.
He does work for Fox.
That's what Cowherd is. He is the Bill O'Reilly show. The O'Reilly Factor. That is his show, but for ESPN.
And isn't he always talking about fatherless black athletes and how that is detrimented their career? Isn't that his thing?
It sounds like an either him thing or something that slipped from one of the older football broadcasters.
I'm pretty sure that's his thing. Anytime somebody gets into a little bit of trouble, he's like, well, they didn't have dad around, and
that's
you know how that.
What I like most though is as I sit there and I idolize the platform that he has. He gets to sit there in front of his female producer,
and he almost assaults her on TV. He doesn't give a shit about what she says.
That he gets to have. He gets to sit there with his mic, speak what is his truth, and get some call and response back.
Michael, watch out, dude. I feel like Colin is saying that he wishes that we would just shut up and dribble.
Wow, that's not what I was saying at all.
Gonna have to watch our backs, man.
Better watch out, boys. You never know what's going to happen next. He who holds this hammer, he who holds this microphone shall have the power. Well, guys, I think that rolls into, I want to show everybody one thing this week that really caught my eye. We used to roll into this segment, Kicks of the Week. And this week, there's a little company called Nike. And they recently merged with the little company called the NBA and took over their jerseys. There's also a company called Supreme.
Oh, God.
Which if you put the name Supreme on anything, any piece of clothing,
you can sell it for $400.
You can sell it for $400 to $600.
What if Supreme and Big Baller Brand?
Oh, dude, I'd buy that.
That's $1,000 product, easy.
Welcome to the world of the Supreme NBA jersey.
I didn't see that. Yep.
With J.R. Smith, the full uniform. Why Supreme didn't sponsor the All-Star game in this, I have no idea. I feel like that was a lost.
They may as well make it a onesie. That way, there's no cutoff in the logos.
That sounds great.
Gosh, you know who they should have used for this? Oh, Who was that player last offseason who got traded 4 or 5 times in the offseason?
Oh, yeah. He was just in everybody's trades.
That's who they should have used. Like, was it Luke? Was it Luke Babbitt?
It was Luke Babbitt.
Luke Babbitt should have been in that Supreme jersey, repping all 28 teams that he played for over the course of 5 weeks.
Oh, this is weird. You see this? Kevin Durant and LeBron James in one face.
It's a pretty scary looking person.
Yeah. Well, and then here are the Supreme shoes, and we'll call that the end of Kicks of the Week. These are probably like $1,000. They'll resell for crazy.
Who is that a Photoshop? LeBron and someone else.
That was LeBron and Kevin Durant.
That was LeBron and KD. That's creepy looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys,
I think it's kind of weird how the Nike logo just goes right through the gut of those.
Let's see. Where were the ones? There's some up at the top. Oh, yeah. The new Duke Kyries. I was digging these for the tournament.
Oh, the blue ones?
Yeah. Those are pretty sick. The old Yeezys. And a little callback from Drake. Drake's got some wide ankles.
Yeah, that ankle look is horrible. Put some socks on, dude.
Jeez, Drake. Or are they socks?
I think he has like orange socks on.
Okay, because if those are ankles, those are like some peely,
those are hairy, ugly ankles.
Those are hairy snakeskin looking ankles.
All right, before we get caught for showing like ugly things and things that make you want to cry, back to our pretty faces. Guys, it was a fun show. We covered some stuff.
Dude, before we end, I want to ask you these questions we went through.
What's
up? All right, Colin, we need what differences are there between John Elway and an actual horse? Go.
A horse has a slightly longer snout than John Elway.
Slightly.
Like just slightly.
Just slightly. That's fair. That's fair. All right, next thing. Things Josh Allen can throw a football over.
A sandcastle on the beach.
Dude, you went small ball,
man. What is that, dude? Is that a shot at Josh Allen?
Is that a shot at the Wyoming great?
I'm sorry. Did you not see him throw for 70 yards in one play?
Oh, I'm sorry. Has anybody else ever been to orchestrated workout drills before and crushed it? That's fine.
Did you not hear?
I'm pretty sure,
did you not hear?
Put him at number 1.
Yeah.
He did have the third fastest 40 though out of quarterbacks. I saw that.
He also ran like his arms were like this. He looked like the worst form ever.
So Deion Sanders was on their DB coverage on Monday, and this white guy from Washington pulls up at the line and is about to run his 40.
Yes.
And he books it. And I mean books it. And Deion Sanders goes, "Oh, he can run. Oh, he can run." And Rich Eisen's like, "What do you mean by that?" Like, you know what I mean by that. I can't say it on TV, but you know exactly what I mean by that. That boy can run.
Yeah, that tweet has been quoted a lot, and it's been a lot of people going like, real blue collar worker, a coach's son. Like,
that's funny. All right, we got 2 more for you. All right, people Zion can dunk on.
I would say Yao Ming standing on the shoulders of Hakeem the Dream, standing on top of a 20-foot mountain of bricks.
There you go. That beats out the biggest one we had.
Yeah.
By far.
We said Kevin Hart in an NBA Celebrity All-Star game. So, like, the ultimate form of Kevin Hart. On top of Joel Embiid.
Kevin Hart when he's fully like,
yeah, we're talking about Super Saiyan Kevin Hart on top of Joel Embiid's shoulders, on top of Kareem's shoulders.
Ooh.
As well, and that's what we said would stop Mount Zion, but We also said that's something Josh Allen couldn't even throw a football over.
Zion would block his pass. He would climb the tree and block it. He would find a way.
And then the last one we had was things quarterbacks' hands need to be bigger than.
A watermelon.
A watermelon, that's fair.
If you can grip a watermelon, you can grip a ball.
Just palm the watermelon like they palm a basketball.
All right, boys. I'm going to come out here and try to find me a real good quarterback. All right, this is going to sound weird. Handsome watermelon. Can you grip this watermelon with one hand and throw it 25 yards?
Why does it just feel like Jim Bob Cooter does that?
No, why does it feel like that would have been a Remember the Titans 2 when he has to go out and find new players? He walks out and hits a watermelon. Coach, this seems a little abnormal. Are you questioning me, son? Are you questioning my methods? We are trying to win.
I just went out to Bradley's workout, and he only completed 54% of his passes, but he can grab a watermelon by its fucking curtails, and he can throw that football over a goddamn meteor.
I saw this boy wrestle a hog. Boy, he only threw 2 complete passes over 10 yards, but boy, he wrestled that hog to the ground, and we had great bacon for dinner.
He cooked it too, so he's a real team player.
And his mama made me a pie. And it was cherry. And I liked it. But he still only completed 2 passes.
Right. That's good.
Well, guys. So we need to talk. So Sunday. Let's make this date, guys. After the brackets have been released, anybody in shouting distance of this podcast, tell your friends that if they want to go to, if they're sick of the ESPN coverage, or they go bracket by bracket and then they go through 4 games and then cut to commercial, none of that. You're not going to find that here. We're going through the bracket game by game by game by game, and we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about the first round, and we're going to make our predictions, and you're going to get a whole good show. It's going to be real good stuff. Don't know what time it's coming to you on Sunday yet. It'll be a later show, because that bracket will come out, around like 8 or 9 o'clock. We'll hop on it. We'll all make our predictions. So 3 of us will make our first draft bracket, because obviously it won't be the real one that we do. And guys, we're going to do, and I just came up with this right now, we're going to do a consistently inconsistent sports network bracket challenge. We'll make a group of it on ESPN. Everybody who listens, everybody who's listening to this right now, get in on it. We'll put a link in the description of the video on Sunday. But this is going to be fun. It's going to be our first time doing the NCAA tournament. Like we were talking about earlier, it's my favorite event. I love doing it. I love doing all the brackets. I'll make like 50 brackets, but I somehow still don't make one that's perfect. I'll never meet, I almost said Jimmy Buffett. Warren Buffett. That concert's coming back to Charleston, man. And
that was a good concert last time, man.
Charleston shuts down for that Jimmy Buffett concert once a year, man. Because this place turns into Margaritaville. But yeah, so you guys are down for that? Like, I feel like that'd be fun. I feel like it'd be a good show.
You let me know when. I'll be around.
Speaking of Jimmy Buffett, if anyone's in the Biloxi area, feel free to meet me at the Margaritaville. We'll play some arcade. We'll hit up the Land Shark bar and maybe get a couple of beverages.
A little pina colada, a little wasted away again in Margaritaville.
Maybe a cheeseburger in paradise.
Ooh, how about 2?
I could do that.
Hey, we just got to make sure the audience doesn't lose their shaker of salt before next week, and we'll catch them there.
We're done. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Layton, where can the good people find you?
It's that beautiful name that you all know how to spell and say. Layton, Layton, Markwood. Just how it sounds. Just spell it out. Do it.
And the chunkiest of tacos, Michael, the K. Kinslow.
Dude, it's pretty easy. Just chunky like me, and then TACO.
And you can find me.
Bell.
Well, yeah, he's a little chunky. But you can find me, Colin Morris, at @the_C Morris. Tell your friends about this show. If you're watching this show, tell somebody what you watched tonight, because I see you people in the viewership. tell somebody what you did tonight. Grab their phone, say, I watched this cool show with these stupid guys just talking about sports. They don't care about anything. They just say what they want, and that's what you need. We need honesty in this world, and that's what we give you here. We give you honest takes.
I tell you what, we'll prove how stupid we are. Next week, we're going to release our SAT scores.
Oh, yeah. With the writing included.
Writing was my best segment.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this week of Consistently Inconsistent Sports. Thank you for joining us. And join us Sunday for our bracket special, probably around 9 o'clock. And bring your empty brackets, and we will help you fill them out with those tough matchups. We will see you guys then. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.
See you.
Deuces.